you need to start using this whip effect with your driver, with your irons, to hit the golf ball further. Now we're going to look at how we start the downswing, how we sequence the whole thing, and what I actually think is the most important part of the swing, but nobody even thinks about it, is that finish. Because where you'll finish is a product of what else has happened in the entire golf swing. So welcome to a brand new video. My name's Alex Elliott, a top 50 world coach and a PJ golf professional. We're answering this question today because we're powered by you, the viewers. And if you're thinking, Alex, how do I get involved? Well, like this video, subscribe, and just pop your question down below. I also forgot to mention this will give you some effortless speed, which I know we all want to have a little bit of that. So I want to go through this, right? And I'm going to prove the distance differences here with you today of, okay, right, we have the idea and everyone says you've got to get through the golf ball, right? Yeah, perfect. The idea of that, the premise of that is 100% correct. But how you do it and how you get to it is very, very important. Now, this is what I see a lot of, right? This look of upper body really getting through. Now, when you do this and really get through, there is no whip of the club. It's almost a jolt of the body, and maybe you can sort of relate to that. Now, I'm going to hit this one away. We'll also put this in slow motion, and I want to talk through why this isn't correct, and we'll show you how far this goes. So, have a look at this here. Really getting through that ball. Now, what I want you to think about here is, first thing, how far has that just gone? 151 carry. It would have gone about 200 yards on total. Now, think about this logically. When we are moving the body into this space here, we're sort of throwing the club out, and then your body's cramping the area where we want to be really punching through. Like, look at the differences in speed from that to that. A lot wider, a lot narrower. So think of this, before we go into this drill right here, this is the most important thing. In the backswing, we want to go from wide to narrow to wide, okay, as opposed to narrow, wide, narrow. That is the most important thing about this sequence that allows you to unlock it. Now, I've got a brilliant drill. It's a little bit strange, but really do stick with me. Now, this is where this drill gets brilliant. Now, I want to put your head cover on your driver. Don't worry, we're not going to hit it. But you know when you've joked around, right? You're going to feel that effortless power is going to go crazy when you do this. But it almost feels really heavy, doesn't it? So the reason why I want you to put the head cover on is for that effect. I want it to feel heavy so you can really feel that whip from the inside and that space, as opposed to this. And as I say, this is working on sequence. This is working on your finish. This is working on effortless power. Now, to do this, I've just placed my alignment stick in the ground here, okay? This could be your golf bag, this could be a brick wall. Address just the air, just in front of you. I want a stick to be just in reach, okay? So just like that. So the idea here is I'll do this on really slow so you can see it. We want this. We want to go wide, okay? All the way to the top. Now as we transfer, relative to that stick, we've come narrow, and then we let the club whip behind us and through to wide again. So this, look at my finishing position there, okay? Now our bad version of this isn't, and I really hate this, and I know you can get out of this, is narrow. Then if you're narrow, you go wide, and then we sort of compensate by moving the whole body through, and then we're narrow again. That finishing position we're really trying to avoid. So I want you to give it a bit of beans, this really. I want you to sort of get that feeling of just a bit of speed in there. Be sure to pull your head cover back on so it doesn't go down the range. But you can really get the feeling of, right, okay, I'm gonna come away from that wall. And doing that 2 or 3 reps with your head cover on, like if you watch this slow-mo here, you can really see I'm having to work the body well. I'm having to work the body in the correct sequence, and I can guarantee, if you go wide to narrow to wide, that's the simplest swing thought you could ever have. Like honestly, I take that exact same swing thought. What I'm saying here, I intend to take straight onto the golf course. So let's prove it to you. We've got the full swing. I'm going to hit this one away with the exact same speed. I'm not going to hit it full out, but just showing you the difference in the carry number. I've just thought of this brilliant feeling. So just to add to this whole drill is that idea of before we hit one is, instead of feeling though that the right side gets you through, so your right shoulder, let's say, let's feel as though the left side is working around and back, and that's pulling you right through. So look what this does. You go wide to get the narrow, left side down and around. Look how that's dragging my right through and giving me that space to swing into. That's the whip effect. Let this whip the club through into that space. This feels so powerful now and light. That's why I love doing that. So again, I'm not going to hit this full out, but what I'm going to do is just that whole idea of wide, narrow, wide, and look at the launch and look at the difference in carry. We'll show you the exact number. I mean, I just really feel like I'm free. I'm throwing those arms through that space. I mean, look at this number down here. 223. That's the carry. We're looking at a 250 total, and you can make that jump using that. You could even see how smooth that swing was. So just remember this nice simple sequence. Wide, narrow, not narrow, wide, narrow. And that, I can assure you, works with your irons, it works with your driver. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, because we've got simple, free golf tips 5 times a week.